Hello folks, this is Mike. Thanks for tuning in. Now you'll notice I'm in the yard today, and also you'll notice behind me a row of dead hedges. Well, our project today is to get these hedges out of the ground. Now there's several ways to do that, but I'm going to show you a simple, easy method. So stay with me and we'll get started. Now, many of you are wondering, what happened to those hedges and why are they dead? And that's because in February of this year, we had an unprecedented winter storm. We had temperatures in the 20s and below for a prolonged period of time. We are in zone 9 and 10 here. Many of our plants are not geared for that, and indeed, my Indian hawthorns died. I've waited for them to come back, and they haven't. So now I'm going to pull them out of the ground. Now what I want to do today is show you several methods to deal with unwanted hedges, both living and dead. Now by far the easiest way to do that is to use a vehicle with a hitch and some sort of strap or cable or chain to pull them out of the ground. Now that brings up a problem for many people. You know, here in Texas, everybody's dog, it seems, has a truck. But I know that's not true everywhere. Plus, there are places where a truck just won't go, like maybe your backyard. So I want to show you a couple of alternate methods for dealing with these unwanted hedges that do not require vehicular help. Also, my favorite method to pull them out of the ground was to use a tow strap. And the reason for that is because it doesn't have metal fittings on it and the strap is not metal itself. My fear was that it might break loose and hit the back of the truck, hit the back of the glass. It might damage the truck, and worse yet, it might damage me. So let me go ahead and show you the strap I'm using. The tow strap I'm using has a reinforced loop on each end, and it's made of a really thick synthetic material. Now this one's rated for over 5,000 pounds, and it's 25 foot long. And you can get these at auto parts stores, discount houses, building centers, but just plan on spending $20-30 for it. The process of using it is really pretty straightforward. You just wrap it around the base of your hedge and run one loop through the other and pull it reasonably tight. The other loop goes on the hitch ball. Now here I tried wrapping it around the hitch ball and thought that would help protect it, but this was really ineffective. And as it turns out, the hoop by itself was more than up to the task. I eased the truck forward until the strap tightened up. Don't overreact here and floorboard your accelerator. They'll usually come right out with just a slight pressure on your pedal. And now we just remove the strap and put the hedge on the road and go on to the next one. In this situation, I was concerned because the hedge was right in close proximity to my sidewalk. So I took my reciprocating saw and I cut the roots out along the edge of the walk. And then I made sure that my pull direction was away from the sidewalk. You may be able to pull them out right over the concrete, but I erred on the side of caution. My feeling is that an ounce of prevention is worth more than a whole bunch of broken concrete. Now instead of cutting all these limbs away from the base of the hedge, I took my grabber and I just pushed the strap through and pulled it out on the other side, and this worked great. Up to now, I've pulled nothing but dead hedges. But as you can see here, it also works with living, healthy hedges. And actually, it's a real piece of cake. Now, as we've already mentioned, bar none, using the truck and the tow strap is the fastest and easiest way to go. But let me show you how I remove hedges when there's just no way to get the truck to the bush. Now we're going to cut down this little barberry bush here, and I've already topped it. And now we're going to take the hedge trimmers and just trim off around the edge and get rid of those excess leaves and limbs. Now we can just rake all the debris out of the way. We're going to come out about 8 or 10 inches from the trunk. And you may even want to go as much as 18 inches or better, depending on the size of your bush. And we're just going to cut around the circumference, like so, and we're going to use the reciprocating saw. Most deciduous bushes like this one run roots outwards from the trunk. So we're basically just cutting through all the major roots. And be aware that we're cutting through dirt here. So it's going to quickly dull your blade. So be sure you have a spare or two. Once the cutting operation is done, we can just use a shovel and pry out the hedge. And it'll come right out of the ground. This actually took very little effort. And because the root ball is very heavy now, I'm going to tap off all this excess dirt and let it fall in the hole. It'll be much easier to carry. And the best thing of all is this operation probably took about 5 minutes. If you plan to let grass grow over the area where you're going to pull this hedge, then everything gets simpler, because all you have to do is cut the hedge down flush with the ground or even lower. And I always drill a 1/2 inch to 1 inch hole in the stump, and I take care not to drill all the way through the stump and into the ground. The hole needs to be maybe up to 6 inches deep if you have enough stump. Now we pour in a Stump Killer and cap off the hole. Now I'm just using a bottle cork, but you could use a piece of dowel pin or whatever. It just needs to keep water out. Now looking at this area, it's hard to imagine that a few years ago there was a row of Italian cypresses here. Now there's no visible evidence that they were even here. Now this method will kill the whole hedge because the poison circulates through the root system. Also, you won't kill everything else around the plant. Here I'm checking to see if my stumps have rotted out. Now the downside of this method is that it can take years for that to happen. Here I found one and it still feels solid. The sad thing is that I also used a stump rotting product on these stumps to no effect. I've really been disappointed over the years with these rot enhancing compounds. I guess we'll just have to wait for nature to take its course. Now here's some pictures of what my yard looked like before we started, and there's also some pics of what it looks like now. And the great thing is all of this work only took a couple of 3 hours. And just think of all the time and labor we saved doing it this way. All I have to do now is clean up and prep my beds for spring planting. Now guys, if you have any questions or comments, be sure to fire those off to me and I'll get back to you. And I'm sure you've noticed that I'm leaning on this lathe. Now this is the ShopFox W1704 mini lathe, and I'll be doing an unboxing and review on this coming up soon. Also at the end of this video, there's a list of some upcoming projects that you may be interested in. So you may want to go below and like our video, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell. That way you won't miss anything. And until next time folks, thanks for watching.